know what happened to TikTok, but it cut me off and I tried to get back on and I couldn't get back on. So I am going to go ahead and do the sub only live here for Cuss Words and Coffee. We're going to need 4 6x6 papers, y'all. I'm going to get those together and then we're going to need our scoreboard. We're going to need 4 pieces of 6x6 paper. And I'm going to start over from the beginning without effing up. So I'm going to put my scoreboard aside here for a second. I am going to get 4 6x6 papers. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, I need to cut my papers 6x6. And again, for those of you that were watching me on TikTok, I apologize. I tried to get back on. It wouldn't let me. I didn't get a violation or anything, so I'm not sure exactly what had happened. But TikTok was giving me a fit. Okay, so this is 6 inches, and I need it by 6 inches. So like I said, I am just going to go ahead and do this here. So I need to make this 6x6. I need 4, and they could be cardstock, it could be regular paper, it could be single-sided because we're not going to see the white side. So there's 1 6x6. Hold on. I need another piece. I apologize, y'all. Again, I was on TikTok. I couldn't get back on. So we're just going to do it here. Hey, Michelle, I apologize. TikTok was giving me a problem. I couldn't get back on. I'm starting over from the beginning. But they are 6x6 squares. So we need 4 of them. 4 6x6s. So there's 2. Let me get some more paper. I apologize. Yes, I don't know what the hell TikTok was thinking, but it was like, nope, you're not getting back on. So I was like, well, the only way to do my video was to come on here and just do it straight up. 6. So there's 2. So I'm like, you know what? We'll just go from the beginning since it's got to be up way. Like I said, I'm just going to start over. There's 3. I need 1 more. Crazy train, crazy train. And let's go with the Santa Clauses. All right, so another 6 inch by 6 inch. Okay, so I got all 4 of my sheets. Again, they could be single-sided, they could be double-sided. The single-sided, you can't see the backs because once we put all this together, you'll not be able to see the whites. So we have 4 6x6 sheets of paper. We are going to go ahead and we're going to number them 1 through 4. Let me take this and put this to the side. So that way there, we're all on the same page. So we are going to put them in order that we want them in our book, okay? So let's put them in order first. I think I want my Santa Clauses first. That, 3 and 4. So I'm going to go ahead and number them. So this one is page number 4. And I'm going to put number 4 here on the right side. And then number 3. Number 2. And then number 1. Thank you guys for joining me over here. Again, I apologize. I don't know what happened on TikTok, but it wouldn't let me go back on. So this is the order that I want them in my book. This is sheet number 1. with number 1, sheet number 2 with my 2, number 3 with my 3, number 4 with my 4. Okay, we are going to need sheet numbers 2 and 4. So there's my number 4, and then I need sheet number 2. Okay, number 1 and 3, I'm going to sit these off to the side. And again, I apologize, y'all. TikTok wouldn't let me get back on. So sheet numbers 2 and sheet numbers 4. We're going to start with number 2 first. Okay, number 2, we are going to take an inch off of either the top or the bottom. So I'm going to flip mine over. It doesn't matter where I cut mine off. So I am all sorry, that was Miss Lady Lori. Everybody was wondering where I headed off to. I'm here on YouTube. I apologize. TikTok wouldn't let me get back on. The voice is all distorted. Is the voice distorted for any of y'all? Am I good now? Is it all weird for you guys, or is this okay? Am I still distorted, Michelle? Does the sound and video, is it a sound and video okay on you for you guys? It's all good? Okay. So again, we're going to take sheet number 2. I started from the very beginning. That way there, when the video uploads, it's going to go from the beginning all the way to the finish. Okay. Okay, great. So sheet number 2, we need to take an inch off of the top or an inch off the bottom. I'm going to take mine from the bottom. So I'm going to take 1 inch off. And again, these are 6 by 6 squares. So I'm going to move this to the 5 inches. And I'm going to cut an inch off the bottom. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side. So there's my number 2. And I took an inch off. So now this is 5 by 6. So 5 inches down, 6 inches across. That's sheet. Okay, so that's number 2. Now we need sheet number 4. And I need to take it either a 1/2 inch off the top or a 1/2 inch off the bottom. My sheet number 4, I can take a 1/2 inch off the top. So let me open this up. And again, I apologize, y'all. TikTok would not let me get back on. So we are back on YouTube. So we're going to take a 1/2 inch off. So from the 6 by 6. Hold on, did I cut that wrong? I already did the 1/2 inch. So this is 6 inches by 5.5 inches. So the 1/2 inch is already taken off across the top for number 4. So this is 6 inches across and 5.5 inches up and down. Okay, so 5.5 inches up and down because I took a 1/2 inch off the top. Okay. And that is number 4. All right. Lord have mercy, y'all. Okay, so we are going, so there's sheet number 4 and sheet number 2. We're going to set these off to the side. And we are going to need sheet number 1. Okay, sheet number 1. And again, I apologize, guys. I know it's been a little crazy, but I promise you it'll be okay. It will be okay. Okay, so I need my scoreboard. So that way there we're not confused. Because I was trying to do both. Okay, I have my scoreboard for number 1. Is everybody good? Give me a thumbs up. Again, I apologize, y'all, for the confusion with TikTok, but it wouldn't let me back on. So I didn't get a violation or anything. I'm not sure what happened as to why it wouldn't let me get back on. But girl, we got it. We got it. Okay, we got 4 people in here. We did have a couple more, but people hopped off. That's okay. All right, so our first, this is our sheet number 1. We are going to mark our sheet. Okay, so 2.5 inches down. We're going to come 2.5 inches down. Hold on, y'all. Let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can see. Okay, so here's 2 inches. Here's 2.5. We are going to make a line at 2.5 inches. Okay. Mark your line at 2.5 inches. All right, so from 2.5 inches down, we need 1/2 inch. So here's our 1/2 inch. We're not going to score the whole thing. We're going to start at 2.5 inches and score from there down. So from that 2.5 inches down. Whoops, a little too hard, Sabrina. Okay, do you see where I'm at here? So I started from the 2.5 inches and I scored all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so from 2.5 inches down is where I scored. That just means I don't have to cut it. So what I'm going to do is from that 2.5 inches down, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut that just before the crease. So the crease is on the one side. See, this is so much easier using my scoreboard. And then I'm going to cut off this little tab here. There we go. So this is a 1/2 inch here. Sorry guys, let me scoot down a little bit. There's the 1/2 inch. I came down to 2.5 inches. So for the 2.5 inches, all the way down to the bottom, that's what I scored. And that's what I just cut off my paper, was that little space right there. Okay. And again, let me zoom out a little bit. There's my number 1. Okay. Now from here, we're going to go from 2.5 inches and we're going to score all the way down. All the way down. Okay, so at 2.5 inches, score all the way down. We're going to turn our paper and we're going to put it so that that little cutout is here at the top. Okay. And there's our number 1. Everybody good? Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our 1.5 and we're going to score all the way across at 1.5 inches all the way down. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that paper and this box right here, that's what we're going to cut off. So we're going to go ahead and cut this off. So there's our paper. Okay, this is so much easier doing it this way. Now this little tab here that's at the bottom, we need to angle that so that we cut off that little flap. So that way there, that's at an angle. So this is all I cut off, was this little piece right here. So that way there, it's angled. Okay. Everybody good? Give me a thumbs up if you guys are good. Beautiful. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, so that is where we are at the moment. So what we're going to do is we are going to make sure our number 1 is on this side. And again, this is cut out, and then we angled this. So on this corner, we are going to do 1/2 inch. So where's my pen? My pen. There it is, duh. Okay, so on this corner here, there's our number 1. We are going to mark 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay, so 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Everybody good? And then we're going to come up here. We're going to mark at 2 inches. So 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and then at the 2 inch mark. Let me zoom in a little bit. Move you guys over so you can see. I'm at the 2 inch mark here. I'm a little off because I'm looking at it from up above. And then this is 1/2 inch. And then this is 1/2 inch. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut from that line to this line at an angle. Okay. So 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch. There we go. I'm going to cut that corner off. And then I'm going to come over here from the 1/2 inch to that corner, and I'm going to cut that off so that I have an angle. Okay. And there's our number 1. It's at the bottom. It's upside down. So that's our little flappy flap. Okay. Now I'm going to put that back in the tray. And then that corner's cut off and that corner's cut off. Okay. Everybody good? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my paper so that my 1 is in that corner. Okay. So my 1 is in that corner. And I'm going to mark 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches. And on the other side, we're going to mark 1.25 inches. So 1.25 inches and 1.25 inches. Okay. Now we're going to turn it again. And we're going to let that little flappy flap stand that up so that we are tight in that corner. And we're going to do 1.25 inches. and an inch and a quarter, and an inch and a quarter. Make sure that one's right. Inch and a quarter, inch and a quarter. Okay. So then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to match up that line, and we're going to cut an angle. Same thing on this side, from there to there, and an angle. So an inch and a quarter, an inch and a quarter. Okay, let me put my little one back down here so you guys can see. Okay. Oops, I just knocked my cutter in the garbage can. Lord have mercy. Okay, so there is my little paper. Everybody good? Make sure you guys are up so you guys can see. All right, everybody looks good. Okay, so there's our little flappy flap. We're going to fold that up. We're going to cut that. We're going to fold that over. We're going to go ahead and crease that. So there's our little fold. Okay, that's our number 1. Everybody good? Okay, we are going to sit this one off to the side. Okay, but that is our number 1. No, these don't line up, and that's okay. All right, so we are going to take our sheet number 2. Let me find sheet number 2. There's our number 2. Okay, here's our sheet number 2, y'all. All right, sheet number 2, we are going to go ahead and we are, where's my bone folder? Hold on, y'all. My bone folder, there we go. Okay, so sheet number 2, we are going to score this at 3 inches down the middle. 3 inches. We are going to fold that over. Fold that over. Come on. Is it 3? Yep. Wait, is it 3? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. It's actually 3 1/4. It's 3 1/4. I'm sorry. 3 1/4 inches. So 3 1/4 inches. That's where you're going to crease it down. 3 1/4. My bad. 3 1/4. So I'm going to fold it over on that 3 1/4. Okay. I apologize, but that's at 3 1/4. So we creased it down 3 1/4. We folded it over, and so we have that little flap. Okay. And then, is everybody good? So that was 3 1/4 inches. Okay. So there's our fold. Everybody good? And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip that over, and on that 1/2 inch, we're going to go ahead and we're going to crease down that 1/2 inch. So then that folds over on top, just like that. Okay. Everybody good? So what we're going to do is we are going to come over here. We're going to, there's our little flap. We're going to put that corner in. We're going to go to 3 inches, and we're going to make a little line at 3 inches. Make a little line at 3 inches. And then we are going to score down 1/4 of an inch down to that 3-inch line. So score down from that 1/4 inch all the way down to that 3-inch line, just like that. So we're going to crease all the way down to that 3-inch line. Then we're going to take our scissors. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cut that off. We're going to cut down to that 3-inch line. Okay. And we're going to cut that out. And then we are going to angle this so that we have just cut off a little tiny square, so, or triangle, so that way there it's angled. Okay. So here's our paper. There's our number 2. There's our piece. There's our little flap. And that is our fold. Okay. Everybody good? Everybody got that? Everybody's good? Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. But there we go. We have our little tabby tab. And if you want to, you can go ahead, you can round this corner if you would like. If you don't have a corner rounder, you don't have to. I'm going to go ahead and round my edge. And I'm going to round this edge here. And again, you don't have to if you don't want to, or if you don't have one. And then I'm going to take this corner flap and I'm going to cut that in an angle, the top part. Okay. So there we go. There's that one. So we can go ahead and set that to the side. Okay, so now we have sheet number 3. Let me make sure that you guys can see here. We have sheet number 3. And again, there's our top number there. Okay, so we're going to come over to, hold on, let me try to read this. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Okay, so we're going to do, 1 1/4 inch. We're going to go all the way down, 1 1/4 inch. Okay, 3 1/4 inch. We're going to fold that over. Wait, is it 3 nope, hold on, 3 1/2. 3 1/2, I'm sorry, 3 1/2, 3 1/2, 3 1/2. I'm going to fold that over. Okay. So I apologize. It was 3 1/2 inches. And then our other one is on 1 1/4 inches. And that should actually be at 1 inch. So my apologies. This should actually be at 1 inch. Because I'm like, why is that not lining up? That's 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to fold that over. So that first crease should be at 1 inch. The second crease is at 3.5 inches. So 1 inch and 3.5 inches. So 3.5 inches and then 1 inch. And there is our, that's number 3. So 3.5, 1 inch. Okay. We're going to put that back in the corner. And we are going to mark 3.25. I'm sorry, not 3.25. 1/4 inch, right? No. 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch here. 3/4 of an inch here. So 3/4 of an inch. This is the folded flap part. Okay. 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. And then we are going to flip it over. So there's our little tab. We're going to flip it over to the back side. Put that back in the corner. Okay. And again, we are going to go 3.25 inches. 3.25 and 3.25. Okay. Everybody good? So what we're going to do is, it's pixelated. Where is the flap? Here's the flap here. So the flap is folded over on the paper, and then we're going to shove that in the corner, and it's 3/4 of an inch. We're going to mark a line, and 3/4 of an inch, we're going to mark the line. Okay. And we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing. 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch. So then what we're going to do is there's our flap. And we're going to go from that 3/4 of an inch to that 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to go ahead and cut that off. From that 3/4 of an inch mark to that 3/4 of an inch mark. And there's our little flappy flap. Okay. There's my little flap. And then I'm going to flip it over. Side. 3/4 of an inch to 3/4 line, and I'm going to cut that off. Okay, so there's that. So 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch on both sides there. Oops. Okay. Everybody good? Give me a thumbs up if y'all are good. And again, I apologize. But there's our little. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little flap here. Okay. And I'm going to continue that cut. So I'm going to open her up. And again, that is number 3. And where that angle is for my scissors, I'm going to lay my scissors in there. And I'm going to go ahead. I have that paper pressed up against my scissors. And I'm going to continue with that angle. And I'm going to cut that piece off. So it's just like this. Okay, because that's going to be our flap. But I just continued with that line. Okay. Everybody good? So that's our little flappy flap. I'm going to bend that to the back. But there's our little tag. And we're going to set this one off to the side. Now we're going to need sheet number 4. Okay, sheet number 4. We are going to go ahead and score that down the 3 inches, down 3 inches all the way to the bottom. 3 inches all the way down to the bottom. And then we're going to fold that in half. Okay, mine's a little crooked, so I want to clean this up before I go any further. I'm going to clean this up because, again, I wasn't straight. And that is okay. But I do want to clean this up now before I go any further, so nothing's sticking out. Okay. Again, because I'm looking at it from I'm not looking straight down, which I would normally stand up and do this when I'm teaching. I can't do that because the camera's in my way. So we're just rolling with it, y'all. We are just rolling with it. Okay, so now that I got my my 4th one folded in half, okay, so if by chance you do have a hole punch, okay, and you want to create a pocket for this, you can do that now while this is open. Okay, so what you're going to do is, if you do want this to be a pocket on just one side, this is 3 inches across. So you will take and mark your center at 1.5 inches. Okay, and if you happen to have a hole punch, this is a 1.5 inch hole punch. You can use this or bigger. Sorry, that's my daughter. She doesn't realize I'm on YouTube Live, but I'm going to go ahead and I am going to put this in here. And I'm going to line up my center here. And I'm going to go ahead and I am going to punch a hole. So that way there I have my angle for my pocket. And again, it's going to be on that side, just like that. Okay. Again, if you don't have a hole punch, you can draw a half circle on there, whatever, or you can use your glue bottle and trace out a line to be able to get that little hole thing. If you have a cover it, you can use that to trace your half moon for your pocket. You can use anything that you have in your arsenal. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, now that we have that cut out, is let me move my scoreboard out of the way here, y'all. And now we can put our little thingies together. Yay! Okay, is everybody good? Everybody's okay? I just want to make sure that everybody's good and caught up. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little tag, and we have our little book here, our sheet number 4. All right. And then what we are going to do is we can take this little flappy flap that's on this paper. Okay, there's our front. Here's our little flap. We are going to take this and we're going to glue this in. Sorry, TikTok kicked me off. I'm on YouTube Live.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. What's up?
I was trying to figure out dinner. Would you like pizza or anything from Domino's?
No, I have leftovers I can eat.
I just figured I'd ask before we ordered.
Yeah, no, I'm good, but thank you.
You're welcome. That's not...
Sorry.
I'm confused.
No. I know. Everybody wondered where I went. Because they're like, wait, I got kicked off live. It was freezing, then all of a sudden it kicked me off. I tried to get back on it to tell me I had an error. So I wonder if there's an update.
Me too, because I tried, it said that you were live, so I tried clicking your live, and then it said unstable connection, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I called you, because I'm like, she's not online.
I am on live, just on YouTube. Okay, I love you too. So I put some glue on there, y'all, and now I'm going to glue that down. And again, you're going to leave a little bit of a space so that way there, when this is closed, you can close that over so you're not too tight. Okay? And you're going to glue that, just that little piece down. Okay, so we're going to glue it down just like that. Get rid of all that excess glue that may have come spilling out. Okay, just like that. Okay. Get rid of all that excess glue. Okay, so for this part, we're going to go ahead and so that we can maximize the amount of space you have as a pocket, we are going to go ahead and use a glue here. Hold on. Mix my glue up. This has been sitting a little hot minute. Let me take my lid off. Okay, to maximize the most space for that little pocket, we're going to go ahead and do a lighter glue. This is art glitter glue. And like I said, I don't use this that often, but just for small projects like this. Oh, my hole's stuck. Hold on. Let me get a thinner needle. Because it dries so stinking quick, y'all. And it does not give you a whole lot of time to fix stuff if you make a mistake. So I'm going to go ahead. Come on, glue. Oh, my Lord. Hold on. My glue is clogged. Let me get a thinner needle. There we go. That was a bunch of glue right there. Okay. Let me clean off my needle. Get the glue off there. Sorry, y'all. Oh, this is what happens when I don't use this glue too often, because again, it gets clogged and dries very, very fast. All right. So again, sorry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take and add a little bit of glue down the side and along the bottom. Okay. Put my lid back on, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold that over. Oops, too much glue. Okay. Bear with me, y'all. You guys gotta trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. Okay. So there's that. Okay. So there's our little pocket. There's our little thing there. All right. So then again, that was sheet number 3. Okay. Now we need sheet number 2. Okay. Let me get a drink here for a minute. Hold on, y'all. Woo! Girl. All right. Everybody good? Thumbs up. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. All right. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Excuse me. Everybody still with me? Is anybody with me? All right. Well, I guess we're just going to go with it. All right, because I don't know if anybody's with me or not, but here we go. Okay, so this is our number 2. Okay, so there's our number 2. This is our number 3. We're going to take this tab and we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue down this. We're going to glue this tab here. We're going to add some glue to it. Okay, and then we're going to sit this down and we're going to rest that on top. So when it opens up like that. Okay. I'm going to make sure that's glued down. Had to have a potty break. You're fine. You're fine. I just wanted to make sure somebody was still with me, that I didn't lose everybody. That's all. I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose everybody. All right. So there's that. Okay. Everything is nice and straight. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and we are going to glue this side here, just the side. So this still opens up here, okay, but our little pocket, we have a little pocket here as well at the top, but that's all glued. Make sure that's glued good. Wipe off any excess glue. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to open that little part up here. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to glue down this side. Down. So this side here And this side here, we're going to leave that open. We're going to... Yes, ma'am. Hello? Hi, guys. I don't know who that was. It sounded like somebody was coming up. I thought somebody was coming up. But anyway, so I have that side glued and that side glued. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip that over. Push that down, get rid of that excess glue. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Glue off my fingers. Okay, so we have this. We have this and we have this, and now we have number 1. Okay, you want to make sure you wipe off all that excess glue, y'all. Make sure all that excess glue is wiped off your spine. Okay. Now, we had some scrap pieces that we had when we were cutting. We had scrap pieces that we threw off to the side here. Okay. Of what we were when we were cutting all this off. Okay, we're going to take a scrap piece of paper and we're going to try to cover this tab here. There we go. We'll do this one. And again, it doesn't have to be the entire thing. We can use all the little scrappy scraps that we have. I'm going to go ahead and cover that up. Yes, I got kicked off of TikTok. I don't know why. It kept giving me an error message. So I had to come on YouTube, and I apologize, but I did start the craft over from the very beginning. So that way there, when I'm done, it'll be uploaded to YouTube. It wasn't a violation or anything. I don't know if they came out with an update or what, but it wouldn't let me get back on. So I just figured, you know what, I'll just come to YouTube and start it from the beginning. And then that way there I can upload it right from here. Okay. So there's that. All right, let me grab another little piece. Let's see if I can get, maybe, will that be short enough? Oh yeah, that'll be short enough. Okay, so what I'm going to get is I'm going to put another little piece on there. And again, you use your little scrappy scraps. Sorry, I got so much glue on my fingers, y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this. Again, I'm just using little scrap pieces of paper. Put this on underneath here. Okay. So that way there, when it's bent over, I got that. And then I'm just going to flip it over and I'm going to cut off the stuff that's hanging over. Again, use scraps for this, y'all. Or you can use your inks or whatever to cover that up. You don't have to use a new piece of paper. Use your little scrappy scraps. All right, let me cut. Oops, did I accidentally cut that? I did. You dumb broad. I just cut that. I did not mean to cut that. So, because I accidentally cut that, it's not a big deal. I'll just add a piece of glue here. A piece of glue here. And use a scrap. And I will tape that back together since I messed up and accidentally cut all the way across. I did not mean to do that. So I said, happy mistakes, happy mistakes. All right, let me cut this. There we go. Because I accidentally cut the wrong thing when I was cutting that. I did not mean to cut my flap off, y'all. Did not mean to cut my flap off. Okay. Let me cut this or glue this part down so that isn't sticking up. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, get rid of that glue off my fingers. For the love of baby Jesus. All right, get rid of my scraps now. Get rid of all my little scrappy scraps. All right. Okay. So I accidentally cut that, so I had to glue a piece down to make sure that I still got my little flap. Okay. And there's that. All right. Oop, I got that little piece there. I forgot to put it. Not a big deal. I'm just going to cut that off just like that. Okay. All right. So we have our little flap. So what I'm going to do with the little flap is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to come down just on this one side with a little bit of glue. I'm going to fold that up. Okay. Oops, wrong way. Hold on, wrong one. This goes on here. And then this comes around. Sorry about that. This comes around to this side. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this. Oh, I put that in the wrong. Lord have mercy. Hold on. Let me pull this because I glued the wrong end. I meant to glue it in here, y'all. I meant to glue it in here. I got a little ahead of myself. That's okay. So I'm going to put that in between. Put that in between. There we go. Not a big deal. We didn't glue the whole thing. We only glued the bottom. So it's all good. It's all good. Make sure that's straight. Now I can go ahead and glue that side back down. There we go. Done. Okay, so there we go. We have our little thing here, our little, oh, we forgot to do the top part. Sorry, y'all. Glue the top. Okay. All right, so this is our flip here. Okay, I got to glue the bottom part here. And that part there, make sure we're stuck. Okay. So there is here is sheet number 1. So this is a little, let me grab a piece of paper. There is a little tuck up here. This flips down, and then there is a little tuck here, and then that flips over, and this is a little tuck spot here. Hold on. So this is a pocket here, the top of this tag, and then there's a pocket here. And then what I would do is, because this is Christmas, now I made myself a little hidden paper clip, and then I can actually use that hidden paper clip to slide down over top of my little flip out. Okay, so it's that easy. So I can take that little paper clip off, and then this is a flip up here, and again there is a pocket right here that you can add ephemera. Okay, that flips down, and then this here, this piece here, this is where you can put ephemera in here as well. Okay, little tuck spot there. All right, then you open that up. There's a tuck spot here in the top of this tag. And then go to the back one, and there's a tuck spot here. You can cause trouble here. And like I said, I created this yesterday. I was making a book for my daughter. It's a hidden paper clip. And I can actually use this paper clip to push on here. And that'll actually keep my little thing closed for me. But that's it. That's all it is, y'all. And you can add this to a book. You can just stick it in there as a piece of ephemera. You can decorate it. You can zhuzh it up, do whatever. Play with it. Put your tags in different orders. Whatever. But just, I like the layering look, which is why you have the different tabs. So you can add like numbers on here. You can add another little tag. Hell, if you don't want this to be a pocket and you want to do the pocket over here, you can put a little hole punch here to create a pocket. And then you can actually take your hole punch. If you wanted to, you can go ahead and punch a hole at the top and put a little brad in there. And squeeze that together. Hold on, let me grab one here. I think I need the bigger hole punch though. Bigger hole punch. So if you didn't want to make a pocket, or if you want to make a hidden pocket, whatever, you can go ahead and put your brad in. And I could go ahead and squish that. Oops. Let me squish my brad again. Okay, so there's my little brad. I can, or eyelet, sorry, my little eyelet. Again, I can use my little hidden paper clip to hang on there. And then I can go ahead and hang a piece of fabric through there to create a little tag. But that is it. That's all we got, babes. And again, I apologize for the whole thing on TikTok. But now you can just decorate it, add your own little thing to it. And like I said, play around with how you layer your tags, however you would like. But like I said, you can add this, and if you want to cover up this white spot, hell, you can use a piece of washi tape, which we all have a shit ton of washi tape. I don't even use mine half the time. You can actually crease the washi tape over so it's hiding that white spine, or you can zhuzh it up as you're going along. I would choose to do washi tape, but again, you guys can play with these tags however you so choose. But that's a quick little easy craft using 6x6 paper. But that's it, guys. That's what I got for you. I'm going to go ahead and upload this to YouTube so that the non-subscribers can follow around. And again, I apologize for the craziness on TikTok, but that's what we got, y'all. What do you guys think? Was that easy enough? It was a little complicated at first, but I think it went pretty well. We actually got it done in what, an hour and 5 minutes. But that's all we got. And like I said, now you can and decorate it however you so choose. Play with how the tags what order the tags are in. Like I said, I love layering, so I love the multiple layers of the different colors. But that is all we got. We are completely done, y'all. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys. Love you. Have a great night. And when we're done, this will be uploaded to TikTok, or I mean to YouTube. I love you guys. See you later.